If you landed on this video, most likely you already have an understanding about functional components and how we can now bring state to them via hooks. And we would start bringing state to our functional components by using the useState hook. Let's look at a simple example. Let's imagine that we have a lamp and the lamp has a button to turn the light on and off. I expressed the latter like this. We have an index.js file that renders a lamp component. Let's go to the lamp component. The lamp component is nothing fancy, but it has what we need. The lamp is able to keep the state from its light being on or off. It has a getter called isLightOn and a setter called setIsLightOn. By default, the lamp is off. The lamp renders a div that we can consider to be the vase, and it has a button. And that button is connected to the state via the handleClick function. Whenever you click the lamp's button, it toggles the light between on and off. This is great, and we for no reason would need to use the useReducer hook in this case. So that is the question, right? When do we need useReducer? The React docs say the following. useReducer is usually preferable to useState when you have complex state logic that involves multiple sub-values or when the next state depends on the previous one. Let's try a scenario where we have multiple sub-values. To keep it simple, let's just say that our lamp has a small display which shows the current time. But it should only display the time if the lamp is turned on. We can start the process by bringing useReducer from React. We have to run useReducer, and the function will return an array with two values. One is the state, and the other one is the dispatch function. We destructure them, and that is why we use the array declaration. This is where things start getting complicated. If you have used Redux before, or you have seen my Redux video, then this might already be familiar. Click the link above if you want to watch that video. The useReducer function accepts two arguments. One is a reducer and the other one is the initial state. I'll start by declaring the reducer and call it connector reducer, just because it connects the light and the display. It doesn't have any special meaning. And the reducer will have a switch statement. Now when the reducer is called, it will receive the current state and also the action that we are executing or dispatching. That action that the reducer will receive will have a type, and that is what we will be switching on. Depending on the action type is what we will do. First, we need to make sure we don't lose current functionality, meaning our lamp needs to be able to be turned on and off like it does right now. And our new connector reducer needs to take care of that. I'll add an action type called toggle light. This case will return a new object with what we have in the current state, but the isLightOn property will be set to the opposite of what it currently is. Also, we need to make sure that if the action type doesn't exist, we do nothing. So we will just return the current state. Since we don't have an initial state for the reducer yet, this would break, so let's take care of that. I will create an initial state constant that will hold an object with isLightOn. And while we are at it, I'll include the isDisplayOn property as well. They will both be false by default. Then I'll pass the connector reducer and initial state to the useReducer hook, and we are ready to use it. So now when we click the lamp button, we need to make sure that the handleClick function dispatches the toggle light action. And finally, make use of the new state in the return statement. We are all set. Our lamp is working as before. We just need to do some cleanup since we are not using the useState hook anymore. Let's remove useState and its reference. From here, everything will be simpler. The only change that we need to make is that when we call dispatch for the toggle light action, we need to make sure that our display updates accordingly. And now we can add the display to show in the UI. If the state.isDisplayOn is true, we will show current time and use the date constructor to present the date. That is all for this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you next time.